Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to your elementary school counseling moment, brought to you by Mrs. Kimberly Jones from Nan Gray Davis Elementary School.
And I'm Lexi Greer from George Hall Elementary. So today we're going to talk about kindness. Last week we talked about digital citizenship. Miss Jones, do you remember when we talked about digital citizenship? What were some things we reviewed?
We talked about how you could leave a positive digital footprint instead of a negative digital footprint. Remember to think before you post.
That's really important. We also talked about if you see somebody cyberbullying or someone cyberbullying you, that you need to tell a trusted grown-up right away.
Yes, so many awesome internet safety tips. Feel free to go back and review that video if you can't remember them all.
So today we're going to talk about kindness, and we're going to start by reading a book, one of my favorite books called A World of Kindness. And one thing that's really cool about this book is that it was written by the editors and illustrators of Pajama Press. So it doesn't have just one author and one illustrator. It has lots of authors and illustrators. And all of the money that they made from selling this book goes to a project called Think Kindness, and they help kids like you understand what kindness is and share random acts of kindness. You ready, Miss Jones?
I'm ready.
Are you kind?
I think that I'm pretty kind. I like to be nice to everyone that I meet.
Yeah, me too. Kindness is so important. Let's think about some ways that we're all kind and we can be kind.
Do you wait your turn?
Ooh, this one is tricky. Sometimes if I'm in a rush or I'm running late, I want to go really, really fast. And there might be somebody in front of me who's going slower, but I think it's really important to wait my turn to be extra kind. Will you help someone younger or older?
I think you should help your little brothers or your little sisters, maybe with their online schoolwork or with things around the house, or maybe your grandma or grandpa or mom or dad, they might need help with something sometimes, and it would just make them feel so special if you help them without having to be asked. Are you gentle with animals big and small?
This one is so important. Sometimes it's easy to forget about showing kindness to people, or it's easy to show kindness to people, but we forget to show kindness to other beings. I have 3 dogs, and it's really important that I show them extra kindness every single day. I feed them and play with them and give them lots of love and pet them. My neighbor has some cats, and I always say hi to them and pet them when I see them. It's really important to be kind to all humans and animals.
Animals have feelings too.
Do you say please and thank you? It's easy, you know.
It just makes people think that you have good manners and that you're nice when you use please and thank you. If you don't say please and you don't say thank you, people might think that you're mean or rude. But can you say I'm sorry if you're ever wrong?
Oh, boys and girls, I know sometimes it's really hard to admit when you've said or done something wrong, but it's so important to reflect on that and then to say that you're sorry about something and really mean it from your heart. And you know what, Miss Jones? If I've done something wrong and when I say I'm sorry, it always makes me feel so much better. And that way I can be kind and show everyone how kind I am. Could you share something special?
Oh, boys and girls, look in this picture. You can see it looks like a brother and a sister, and they're helping each other and taking turns with a bike. Sometimes we don't want to share things that are special. Like I know sometimes I don't want to share my ice cream with my children, but they always ask me for a bite. And if I say no, that's just going to hurt their feelings. So sometimes I share that with them, and I share my time with them and things like that. You might have a favorite toy and you just don't want to share it, or maybe you don't want to share your iPad with your brother or your sister, but it will make things so much easier if you just give in and share with someone. It'll make them see how kind you are. When someone is shy, do you help her join in?
This one's really important to think about. Maybe you have felt left out before. Maybe you have seen other kids or brothers and sisters feeling left out, especially like when we're back at school, or maybe even if you're at the park. It's important to ask everyone to play, to be fair, and to be kind.
I know sometimes, especially when you get 3 kids around each other instead of 2, one person can feel very left out. Like they feel like 3's a crowd and the 2 people just want to hang out together and leave the other person out. And that could really hurt someone's feelings. So you should really think about that and try to include everyone to play with you. And I remember when I was a little girl, I was really, really shy and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was scared that they wouldn't like me. But I had another little girl and she was such a good friend to me and she was always trying to get me to talk to her and she brought me out of my shell. And so now, even as a grown-up, I can go up to people that I don't even know and talk to them and be kind to them because when I was a little girl, somebody was kind to me.
I love that.
Will you watch over someone else?
Oh, this is really important, especially during this time. There are lots of essential workers watching over us. Police, firefighters, doctors, and nurses. So it's important when we're at home that we watch over our younger brothers and sisters. We help our parents. We can help our neighbors. It's important to show kindness by watching over someone else and helping them when they need help. When someone is sad, will you comfort them?
I think when someone is sad, especially during this time, you don't know what people are going through during this pandemic. They might be sad and missing their teachers and their friends at school or someone in their family. They might have lost someone. And so I think you should just comfort them. And if it's someone in your home that is sad, you could give them a hug and try to make them feel better. Will you be a friend to someone new?
So right now, while we're out of school and doing online learning and distance learning, it might be a little tricky to meet new friends. But when we go back to school this next year, you might be meeting some new friends, or maybe some new friends or neighbors are moving into your neighborhood. And for you 5th graders going on to middle school, you're going to have the opportunity to meet lots of new kids. So it's important to be a good friend and be kind to everyone that you meet, because you never know who's going to be a good friend. And that, my friend, is how a little kindness grows into a world of kindness.
So today we made you think, am I kind? What kind of things can I do to be kind? And how are you going to show that kindness?
So, are you kind, and how will you show it? Through empathy, thoughtfulness, sympathy, generosity, honesty, or compassion? Lots of amazing ways to show the world that you are a kind kid.
So we have something really neat for you guys. We're going to do a kindness challenge.
Woohoo.
And if you look here on your screen, there is a QR code. And you simply bring your device or your phone, or maybe borrow your parents' phone and scan this QR code. You can bring your phone camera right up to the QR code and it'll take you right to My Counseling website, and it'll take you to the Acts of Kindness bingo card. And on this Acts of Kindness bingo card, there are 25 spaces. It gives you 24 kind things to do, suggestions of acts of kindness that you can do at home. There's also one free space, and we encourage you to come up with your own random act of kindness to do on the free space. Throughout the rest of our presentation, you will notice a small QR code in the corner. That is the same QR code that we're showing you here. We're just going to leave it up in case you don't have time right now to go and scan it. We're giving you a little bit of time to go grab a device so you can come back to it and it'll still be on the screen for you to scan. Your parents can print this card out for you, or you can save it as a photo on your device, and you can mark it up and cross off these acts of kindness as you go. And we want to see how many times you could get bingo. You could do it across, up, down, diagonal. How many times do you think you can get bingo from doing kind things for others? We're going to talk about some of the things that you can do.
I love that, Miss Jones. I love that kids can be proactive and go out in the world and see all these cool, kind things that they can do. One cool thing to do is to write someone a kind note. So that might be a kind note for your brother or sister or one of your parents. Maybe you could even write a kind note for a neighbor or send a postcard to a relative who lives far away.
Another thing that you can do is give someone a compliment. You can say, "Hey Mom, you sure are looking good today." Or, "Dad, that dinner you made was amazing." And that will make them feel really good.
Another kind thing to do is to do a chore for a sibling. It's important to show kindness to your family by doing your chores without complaining. You could be extra kind by doing a bonus chore for one of your brothers or sisters. That would really help Mom and Dad out.
Another kind thing that you could do is just smile at someone. I don't know about you, but I could be having a really rotten day, and someone, maybe a stranger or maybe someone that I actually know, just gives me a great huge smile, and I can't help it. I just get out of my bad mood and I have to smile right back.
Another cool thing to do is to help your parents get the groceries unloaded. So I know when I go to the grocery store and I buy a whole bunch of different groceries and I get home, I'm tired. So I always like it when someone comes and helps me to unload the groceries, bring them in the house, put them in the kitchen, and even take them out of the bags and start to put them in the cabinets. That would really help your parents or grandparents and guardians out a lot.
Another thing that you can do is donate some of your old things to people that need them, like your old clothes that don't fit anymore, toys that you don't play with anymore, books that you've already read 100 times. You can donate them and get your parents to go drop them off or have them picked up and go to someone who really needs them.
Another cool, kind thing to do is to write a thank you note for an essential worker. An essential worker is a firefighter, a police officer, doctors, nurses, all the people who are keeping us safe during this pandemic. So it would be really kind of you to write a thank you note, and you could have a grown-up in your house help you send it in the mail, or if you know where an essential worker works, you could bring it to them.
So during this hard time, we're all doing online learning, and it's new to everybody. Your parents are having to help teach you. Your teacher is having to learn how to use a Google Classroom, and you're having to learn how to learn online without going to school. And it's all a lot of hard work for all of us. So I'm sure your teacher and your parents would appreciate it if you thank them for how hard they're working to make sure that you're still getting a good education during this time. Just tell them thanks, you're doing a great job.
So the bingo card is filled with all sorts of cool, kind things that you can do, but you can also come up with your own random act of kindness. And a random act of kindness means that you're doing something kind without expecting anything in return. And often random acts of kindness are done anonymously, meaning that nobody knows who did that kind thing. So one really cool random act of kindness that I like to do when I take my dogs for a walk, I carry an extra little trash bag, like a grocery bag, and if I see any litter on the ground, I pick that up. Nobody knows that I picked it up, but it keeps our neighborhood looking nice. It's better for the earth and all the animals, and I always feel good about it when I'm done walking my dog and I got a bag full of trash that I can throw in the trash can.
We want to see how many times that you can get bingo. Remember, you can do it side to side, up and down, diagonally, and you can even get your parents to take a picture of you doing these random acts of kindness. And maybe they can post it on their social media account, or maybe you can even share it with your Google Classroom to your teacher or your classmates.
So don't forget, be kind. Follow this QR code, scan it in to go to our bingo card so that you can keep track of all the cool ways that you're being kind this summer.
We'll see you next week. We're going to talk about summer safety tips.
Bye.